Hey everybody, I'm Joe Hirsch with this week's edition of The Digital Dish, your window into our world. And it's been a pretty busy last few days here in fourth grade as students prepared to wrap up their unit on Yamim Noraim, the high holidays, and in particular focus on the meaning and the message of Yom Kippur. To do that, we started by taking a look at the custom of Kapparot, the ancient ritual that sometimes involves the waving of a rooster over one's head, but nowadays is more commonly practiced by dedicating tzedakah to the poor. What this ritual, which at first seems rather strange, has to do with Yom Kippur is something we had a good time discussing and exploring in class. We actually connected it back to two other rituals or customs that prevailed during this time period. One, Tashlich, and the other, the Simanim, the symbolic foods that are eaten on Rosh Hashanah. And all three of these things, Tashlich, the Simanim, and Kapparot, all are designed to promote certain beliefs and behaviors. In fourth grade, we call this actions shaping attitudes. And we know that the things we do create a certain feeling. That feeling creates a certain shift in behavior, and that shift in behavior helps us discover a better version of ourselves for the coming year. Beyond the intellectual approach to Yom Kippur and studying it from that frame of mind, students also had a chance to actually perform some hands-on experiments involving grape juice, dirt, toothbrushes, and a piece of cloth. What that had to do with Yom Kippur and the curative and restorative powers of Yom Kippur to wipe the slate clean, as it were, is something I know they'll enjoy telling you about over the course of the holiday, either before, during, or after. But we shifted away from the high holiday season for just a little bit of time over the last few days to explore the very beginnings of Mishnah study here in fourth grade, and to better understand how Mishnah study relates to Torah study and the interplay between the written and oral traditions. To help us do that, we took a look at Barnes & Noble and its organizational structure. The way the bookstore organizes itself into different sections and themes and genres is exactly the way that Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, Rabbi Judah the Prince, organized the 6 Sedarim, the 6 orders of Mishnah, to better help us preserve and maintain the oral tradition for future generations. How is Mishnah organized? What are its contents? How did Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi go about that process? Were some of the questions that we began to explore this week. And this introduction to Mishnah will guide our textual study of Mishnah, something that fourth graders will do, many of them for the first time this academic year. Very excited to go ahead and do that with them. And I'm sure they'll have a great time telling you about how Barnes & Noble is just like the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, the 6 orders of the Mishnah. And if they haven't showed you the Mishnah dance already, they'll have a great time doing that as well. In our Parsha headline this week, in our Parsha Spotlight, students had a chance to take a detour from the weekly Parsha and to take a look at the Avodat Yom HaKippurim, the special holiday service of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. He was the star of the show, and his service, at least in the times of the Beit HaMikdash, secured the fates of the Jewish people and inscribed them for good and helped achieve atonement for the entire nation. How was this service different than the typical service undertaken by the Kohen Gadol? Was a question we explored this week in class, and students had a chance to actually think about some key differences between the clothing that he normally wears during the year and the special clothing that he wore on Yom HaKippurim. Very interesting Parsha Spotlight that I know your kids will enjoy sharing with you. We had a really fantastic last few days here in class with lots of hands-on learning, lots of brand new explorations for the children. And I'm sure this new year is going to bring some fantastic adventures and new discoveries that I am very excited to take part in with your child this year. Looking forward to doing that with them when we return after Yom Kippur. Have a very meaningful fast day with your children, and I hope to see you guys back in school after a late start on Wednesday morning. Take care.